Hi, this is Kerry Artek with Wicked Stocks bringing you the Daily SPY report for Monday, November 15th, 2021. Before I jump into the charts, just want to encourage you to please click like and subscribe. Subscribing to the Wicked Stocks YouTube channel will provide you notifications each and every time the Daily SPY report has been uploaded and ready for your viewing, generally by around 5 p.m. Central Standard Time, Chicago, each and every trading day for the next trading day. Let's jump into the charts. Long-term study here. This daily chart, they're all daily charts, by the way, goes back, about a year and a half, maybe a year and a few months. And you can see the long-term trend line that's been holding well. It contained the September highs, has essentially contained the November highs. About a week ago, we rallied to within 0.5% of that important line study. The way I see long-term testing of significant levels on charts, as long as you're within 1%, it is the beginning of the testing process. And inversely, if we are to elicit a long-term buy signal, that would be a settlement above 474.40 by a 1% margin, strictly speaking. I've been mentioning, though, I think even a settlement in the 476, 477 handles would be sufficient. But if you're wanting to be sort of deliberate and safe in your long entry or your short liquidation, whatever the case may be, excuse me, it would be the 1% settlement beyond these key points. So there you have it. 474.40 is our ceiling for the week and quite possibly through the balance of the year, because below which this market can, by the end of December or sooner, fall back into the 430s, that 437.35 channel bottom. I don't anticipate seeing 422.60, but just know that holding below 474.40 does allow that over the months ahead. As it climbs through time, it is based entirely upon the trend line. The rate of ascent is projected off that November 2020 low. 422.60 is long-term support that, if tested over the months ahead, can absorb selling on a quarterly basis, quite possibly well into next year. But way ahead of myself, 437.35 is potentially in reach by the end of December. There's no clear sell signal right now. It's just that we are hovering below key resistance. The downside sell signal for me would be a settlement below 463.27. And this is sort of the convergent rising 1/3 speed line and rising channel bottom that are both projected off that October low area. And for good measure, I'm going to throw in, you probably remember this formation from a few weeks ago. I had been using it for a week or two straight, and it's sort of fallen off the radar a bit, but it is also in that same exact area today. So, the 463.27 to 463.29 and even 463.28, they're all in the same area today. Too good to be true. Probably will not be tested. The emphasis right now is slightly to the upside, I would say, for today, based on what happened last Friday. If you just look at the chart, Wednesday we had the big down day. Thursday was an inside day, very narrow range, and we settling above Thursday's high is indication that we're sort of in a more constructive dynamic coming into the early week. But, anything can happen. So if we fall back and test the 463.27 to 29 area, it can contain weekly selling pressures, and above which the 474.40 trend line is in reach by the end of this week or sooner. So there's that. Really the parameters right now for the week itself: floor of support 463.27, ceiling of resistance 474.40. Now, inside all that, for today itself, I've got intraday containment levels below at 465.89 and above at 468.93. Both are well equipped to firmly contain intraday trade. And if we violate them, they do have pivot point quality. So if we break 465.89 today, for instance, expect the 463.27 to 29 area on an intraday basis. And inversely, if we push or open today above 468.93, the 470.65 move high from about a week ago is in reach today. Let me show you some of these levels. This is 465.89, that intraday support level. That is a sort of intermediate channel structure that you can find on the chart. That was at 464.39 last Friday. I'm going by memory here. I'm trying to remember. I do know that it was an intraday containment level that we violated ever so slightly. We got to 464.11 was the low, and I think it was 464.36 or 464.39, something like that. It was in the 464.30s. We did break it very slightly on Friday. It's at 465.89. It can continue to contain intraday selling, and above which, as I say, 468.93 in reach today, which is nothing more than the high settlement price from about a week ago. The actual all-time high close for the SPY thus far, 468.93. So if we push through 468.93, then the move high from a little over a week ago, 470.65, is in reach, and it can contain daily buying pressures. I want to emphasize to be careful here. The SPY and many, obviously, stocks have a tendency to honor old highs, at least on the first attempt. And so this may well contain the daily highs. But if we close, well, let's just put it this way. If we push above 470.65 early today, and it is possible, not expected, but certainly possible, then we may have a significant rally in our hand today, which would then likely, or at least allow, the 474.40 long-term trend line, where once again, we can top out for the week itself, possibly through the balance of the year. I've been mentioning the contradiction right now between the SPY and the Triple Q, both of which have approached long-term resistance and backed off very modestly, and the Dow and the Russell 2000, or the DIA and the IWM, both of which have recently, over the last couple of weeks, elicited their own longer-term buy signals. And so the hesitation right now is in the SPY and the Triple Q in terms of eliciting a long-term buy signal. That would occur, as I say, with a settlement above 474.40. And then I see longer-term bullish continuation of about 3 to 5 months. I suspect up to 521.68. It could take longer, but I think 3 to 5 months is realistic. On the way up, just so you know, if we close above 474.40, we have a 2 to 3 week objective at 494.59. That is an intermediate channel structure on the daily chart that can contain at least weekly, possibly monthly buying pressures. When tested, from there we could fall back to the 474 trend line within several weeks. Closing above 494.59 would then likely yield that 521.68 3 to 5 month target in as little as 2 to 3 months. So 474.40 remains a big pivot point for this market. Briefly, before I let you go, let me cover the downside just one more time. If we close today below 463.27, and it's certainly possible, and if so, the 437.35 long-term channel bottom is then in reach over the next 3 to 5 weeks or so. Now, on the way down, I would say a 3 to 5 day target at 453.19 to 54.05, nothing more than the September high and the September high move high settlement price. So a 3 to 5 day signal, if we close today below 463.27 down to that 453.19 to 54.05 area, in other words, by the end of the week, we should actually test it. We could bounce nicely off there. I mean, that is an obvious support area that the market may honor for a day, maybe a week. And from there, we could actually rally back into the 460s, back to those formations that are presently at 463.27 to 63.29. But the emphasis will remain negative from my perspective if we settle below the steeply rising channel structure, and we may give much of this rally back over the next 3 to 5 weeks. If we settle below 453.19 any day at this week or next week, then it accelerates, and the 437.35, which would be a 3 to 5 week objective below 463.27, becomes more like a 2 to 3 week target if we settle below 453.19. That 437.35 structure able to absorb selling through December, and from there we can turn higher into January trade. That kind of covers the downside, and I think I'm sort of done with the video. That pretty much sums it up. That's all I've got for Monday's Daily SPY Report for November 15th. I'll be back tomorrow by around 5 p.m. Central Standard Time with Tuesday SPY. Have a great evening, and we will talk tomorrow.